Hey, welcome back to the Ping Pong Flix Show. My name is Chris Wong. This is episode 567 of the Ping Pong Flix Show. I've got a slew of different updates for DC films. And you know, it's not always a good news per se. I know I'm saying that DC in general, but with the whole COVID situation, it's pretty, it is what it is. And the first things first is that Black Adam production could push to 2021. This was a post from Fandom. The Rock will reportedly finish filming Netflix's Red Notice prior to starting Black Adam, which could push production on the superhero flick to 2021. The source is from The Hollywood Reporter. In this large article, they talk about the COVID situation within Hollywood, and there's just a little snippet in talking about Black Adam, which unfortunately it is what it is. Like I said, like even the Batman's probably not going to start filming until September, and all these things are being pushed back, and we're trying to get movies in theaters again, trying to get them open. The situation is pretty terrible in terms of entertainment industry, but for the sake of safety for the cast and crew and everything, it has to be done. So unfortunately, we'll probably, and they're just inferring there, that's according to their sources, there's nothing official with that yet, but again, this is the Hollywood Reporter after all. So Black Adam may be delaying to 2021 to start production, but hopefully we will get some cool stuff out of DC fandom in any case. Maybe even Henry Cavill showing up on the Zoom stream or a stream, whatever. So I can't wait for DC fandom to, maybe we'll learn a little bit more about these other projects that have to, will take place. And then I was talking about the Batman, right? So this is an article that came out. Colin Farrell says the Batman will be very unique from past films. Okay, so this is an article coming from Geek Vibes Nation. Colin Farrell talking a little bit about the Batman. Some of this you've already heard before, but I'll reiterate again. He said this to Metro UK. The whole prospect is really exciting. I'm ecstatic to be part of the universe. There are certain words that are part of my internal lexicon, and those words are Gotham City, Penguin, Joker, Batman, Bruce Wayne, Harvey Dent, all of those things. On the script itself and what Matt Reeves has done with the film. I've been watching the Batman films with my kids, but this script is something that feels incredibly original. It leans into it, but it doesn't borrow. It's born of the mythology of that character, Bruce Wayne, Batman, and Gotham, but it feels like a treatment and a version that I hadn't seen before. Matt Reeves has done an incredible job of keeping it familiar and at the same time unique and new. It's really exciting to be a part of it, and that's great, right? We don't want to rehash the things. If he's saying it's true that it is pretty much doing its kind of its own thing, you can kind of separate yourself from thinking it's another Nolan, it's another Ben Affleck Batman. It's doing its own thing, creating its own mythology, creating its own world. And that's better for it, I think. That way you don't have those type of your reactions when you're watching it. Hopefully the first 10 minutes you're like, this is a new Batman. I get it. I'm on board. I want to go in with this adventure. I want to know more. I want to see Robert Pattinson's Batman without trying to really grasp at what you knew before. And so being it original, being it familiar because of the Batman character and because of the content that it is, that's great because you recognize immediately as a DC fan, but I still would love to, like that it's going to be original. It's going to be something new, something possibly even refreshing, and that part is really intriguing to me in that respect. And for especially for Batman films, Batman fans in general, they want to see different parts, interpretations of Batman. So this is another one that's coming out for that movie, right? So that is the Batman. Now, like I said, there's some multiple updates for different movies, different characters. One of them is also The Flash. Okay, this is coming from Heroic Hollywood. The Flash won't include Amazon or Atlantean War, right? So nothing much in here. There's just bunch of talking about the article and how in this version of Flashpoint. There may not even be Thomas Wayne in it. And also they're hearing there's no Amazon Atlantean War. Does that also mean there is no Wonder Woman and no Aquaman? We're unclear about that respect, but as in terms of that's their wording, there is the key words is there is that there's not going to have that key Flashpoint storyline featuring Amazon and Atlantean War. So that's not going to be in there, right? So it makes you just really looking at that. I'm like, I think calling it Flashpoint is maybe even a disservice to this movie. I think this is actually more of a Flash origin tale, than an actual Flashpoint movie, which, you know, to some, including myself, may be a little disappointing because I really want to see that Flashpoint type movie with Thomas Wayne, with a really skinny Superman, and the Atlantean and Amazon War and stuff like that for that happening. But if people just wanted to get that pretty much a singular Flash movie instead of like a Justice League, like a 2.0 in a way, then I think they could be pretty happy with that. Hearing that it's mostly going to be a Flash tale, multiverse. Maybe he falls into a universe that has Michael Keaton as Batman. Then comes out just for a little bit and that. So there could be it's probably in more like that respect rather than actually adapting the Flashpoint story. I think when people say Flashpoint, they automatically think of the story, but when directors and the people in the production say Flashpoint, what they're trying to infer is basically just him going into the Speed Force and things like that. And that's where that word to them, that's what they mean to them, but not necessarily to us as fans, because we're automatically thinking about that storyline, and that might not be the case in terms of this movie. So I actually wish there still could be a Flashpoint movie later on. I don't know, maybe even on HBO Max, but we'll have to wait and see about that. So next up, speaking of Amazons, Wonder Woman 1984. There's two things, very simple things came out. The first one is Gal Gadot released a picture with the hashtag wear a mask, a nice PSA about that. And what we're saying, we're probably thinking this is actually Wonder Woman 1984. She probably had to wear a mask during that desert scene because of the sand. There's some soldiers here. That's Patty Jenkins in the back. So this is probably that Wonder Woman 1984 scene where, you know, the truck flips up in the trailer, so we're getting a little bit of that. It's just coincidental. She at that time, even though that was in COVID time, she wore a mask, so she probably got that snapshot. I don't know if I think Clay Annals may have shot this, maybe not. I think he did, and then so she's using that as part of the PSA for everybody to wear a mask. The other thing is this is from our fellow Alex, and there's a picture, a new still of Wonder Woman 1984 running through Washington. So this is the part that she runs really fast and then she shoots up in the air with her lasso. There's debate about invisible planes or not. We won't know until we actually watch the movie. But in any case, at least we got another new still from Wonder Woman 84 just to kind of, you know, just a little bit of a clinch or thirst because we can't see the movie until much later on. So hopefully that doesn't get delayed too, but I'm thinking it might. If Tenet got delayed, you know, Wonder Woman 1984 may get delayed too, which is really, really unfortunate. All right, so the next thing is a small update for David Ayer's Suicide Squad. The Ayer cut, right? So this is actually coming from the Ayer cut at Cut Air. I guess he asked HBO Max about HBO Max help about the Ayer cut. He says, are they aware of the demand for the cut? And HBO Max help says, we will be sure to include that in your content request, that there is a demand for the Ayer cut of Suicide Squad. So And yeah, I mean, that could just be an intern once again. I like how they just said that Erica Suicide Squad, but and that doesn't really tell you much as in terms of like they're actually confirming. But if they do notice that there is a demand, then what usually companies do would try to supply that demand, right? And over 100,000 tweets and trending, that's a pretty much a demand. That's a demand that they should be able to supply and supply easily, because David Ayer says there's not much more that needs to be worked on for David Ayer's Suicide Squad. Now, there are people, certain industry people, and even Garza today in Real Motion has said that it is definitely happening, and they are definitely going to release the Ayer cut. Other people says that was already the plan since the Snyder cut, but we'll just have to wait and see if that happens. I am very optimistic it could happen. I'm very optimistic just within my own thinking that, hey, it's COVID-19. You don't have any projects going on in theaters. You need more content on HBO Max. Go in the vault, get those things that you can probably put together really easily, slap it on HBO Max, and get people to subscribe and watch something. So I think it's probably more likely than not that it's already going to happen, but it's nice to see that trend that much. It just re-emphasizes the demand, re-emphasizes that we do want to see that cut, and hopefully we do, and hopefully David Ayer gets to release his cut of Suicide Squad. So that's a little update on that. Okay, so a little bit of maybe tinfoil, if you will, but this leads into another thing for Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck, is he doing ADR for Zack Snyder's Justice League? This post came up just recently. This is from Agent OCCM, OCC Celebrity Marketing. What they do is they represent celebrities for public appearances, corporate events, and voiceover. And you notice there's a picture here with him and Ben Affleck. He says, "Great night with Batman last night." Not sure. Now, this could just be anything from I'm having a drink with them, we're at somewhere. I don't know where they are. This could be a facility, a hospital. It could just be, and it could be a place where what he says voiceover. Maybe he's doing ADR, and have his agent with him in terms of doing ADR for Zack Snyder's Justice League. As we already know in the Hollywood Reporter, that they have to do some ADR for some scenes, and that's part of the post-production that is involved in Zack Snyder's Justice League, right? So that could be happening as well. Ben Affleck looking very healthy, and looking very good, and it looks like, and he didn't say great night with Ben Affleck. He said great night with Batman. So it kind of makes me wonder if that's the case. The other thing I want to show you, I didn't put it as one part of the banner here, but I noticed that it says John Cleese over here. So voiceover, Dick Van Dyke, Tim Curry, Pee Wee Herman, Elijah Wood, John Cleese. Now, the thing about John Cleese is that, I don't know if you remember, but John Cleese was rumored back in the day to be part of Justice League or even the Batman, right? Remember John Cleese? Now, Walt Whipper Kryptonian had this picture. This was back in 2016, I think. Was it 2017? 2016 even. So that was his, John Cleese had done this picture. And over here, when you look closely, you zoom into that, those books there, it said that the Batman and Justice League origin, right? So even back then, he was dropping things back then, like this article from 2016, where it was just his picture, that picture that he shot out, and people speculating on whether he was in Justice League or not. Okay, well that was a suspended account, so we can't find that anymore, but essentially that could absolutely happen, and I'm wondering if this voiceover thing, what he was voiceovering as, if that's the case. John Cleese may be in Justice League, right? He could still be in Justice League. It could have, that could have actually happened. So I'm very curious about that, if that's the case. But anyway, we're talking about Ben Affleck as Batman. I don't want to go stray too far away from it, but yeah, there is a nice event coming up this Friday. This is called the Thanks Batflick. This is SnyderCut.com post. New event. Who wants to have some fun and show some Ben Affleck Batman love? Post a 30-second video or some other tribute. What Ben Affleck's Batman means to you. Post all day to your favorite social media platform and use Thanks Batflick on all posts. So this Friday on 24th, all day, Vero, Facebook. So pretty much, if it's 24th for you and not in America, start posting stuff already. Twitter, Instagram, trending fan event. Thanks, Batflick. We want to show our appreciation to Ben Affleck's Batman. Post 30-second video or other tribute telling us what Batflick means to you. Make sure you use that giant hashtag right there. Thanks, Batflick. You know, I love Ben Affleck. Is my ultimate favorite Batman, and I'm so happy that we will get to see him in Zack Snyder's Justice League. So very grateful for that, and I just wanted to, everybody could just thank him for being Batflick, seeing how he's an awesome Batman and everything that, and actually saying yes and coming back to Zack Snyder's Justice League. So I just want to make sure he feels awesome being Batman again, right? Because there's that clip that's going around where he talks about Batman v Superman, how he had such a great time, that's such a great role in that one. And then when asked about Justice League, he says, yeah, I didn't have that much, he implied he didn't have a good time over there because a lot of things happen over there. But then he circled back to says, but I really had a great time in Batman v Superman. So we want him to feel that love again, for being Batman once again, as we get to see him in Justice League. So that's going to be a great trending fan event. Thanks, Batflick, for being Batman, for being awesome as Batman. So that's Friday the 24th. So please, if you can, kind of involve yourself in that and participate in this appreciation event for Ben Affleck as Batman. All right, since we're talking about Zack Snyder's Justice League in a way, Ray Porter's Darkseid voice potential. Now he is doing a he's doing a voiceover, or he's an audible for the Sandman, right? And this is a post by the DCEU scene. This voice is as close as we get to Darkseid for now, maybe, right? So Ray Porter plays a character called Beelzebub, or actually just voices Beelzebub in the Sandman audible, and you should go and check it out. But what he's not implying this is the voice of Darkseid in any way, by the way. It's not. But he wants you to listen to this clip, which I'm going to play for you right now. And you tell me if you're not intimidated by this voice. Check it out.
You have summoned me. What is your request? Protection comes dear, mortal. The things you offer are paltry trifles. Have you nothing else? Ah, yes. For this I would give you what you ask. So splendid. This amulet will protect you from anything.
So that was creepy. That was creepy and intimidating and downright frightening, right? The frightening. I mean, I would quiver if I heard that in the dark and these two red eyes glowing at me. Now, like I said, even Ray Porter says he doesn't know what Darkseid's voice is going to sound like. Just to be clear, that was a voice he did for Beelzebub in the Sandman. So just to be clear, even though they had those visuals just want to help you out to see what the potential for Darkseid's voice to be. Now we know what Ray Porter sounds like, and just hearing that that absolutely kills, man. I could totally see it being like a lot more deeper, a lot more bigger. It would absolutely make me quiver, just like Diana when she's looking at the mural of Darkseid and she's like freaking out, you know, she's like quivering, like she's scared, right? And it needs to have a voice to back that up. And I think once we hear Ray Porter's Darkseid voice, we're gonna be like, whoa, whoa, like damn, freaking out. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be totally awesome. So just that little tease, like I said, that's not Darkseid's voice. You know, disregard the visuals, but hopefully it just helps you to learn the potential that Ray Porter could provide for Yuxus or Darkseid, right? So, speaking of more of Zack Snyder's Justice League, Green Lantern and Zack Snyder's Justice League. You know, Garza has a lot of information, you know, in terms of the Snyder Cut. You know, I gotta be honest, because of what I've heard as well. He's pretty much batting 100 so far. So, and so that's why when it regards to Ryan Reynolds as Green Lantern, I'm really curious because at first, a lot of us were like, what? But then after a while, we kind of sort of heard the same things that, yeah, Ryan Reynolds was talking with to be in the movie. So he did this fan thing for DC fandom, you know, Green Lantern, Van City Reynolds, DC fandom. Let's see if he's right. Let's see if he's correct, and see if Ryan Reynolds does come back as Green Lantern. A Hal Jordan Green Lantern for Zack Snyder's Justice League, which I'm all for. I think out of that Green Lantern movie, he's probably the best thing out of that. I don't mind, especially if it's an older Hal Jordan. But I do like the part about just borrowing that David S. Goyer aspect of lethal weapon in space. The one movie he was going to do, Green Lantern, was going to have an older Hal Jordan training a rookie John Stewart, who probably maybe recently got a hold of the ring, maybe in Justice League. That would be fantastic. If you could do that, that would be great. And I think it would be great to see, you know, much more diverse. We already have a diversity in the Justice League, but just have it spread a little bit more. Have Hal Jordan train a young John Stewart, and have them both two Green Lanterns in the movie. Why not? I mean, I would. Hal Jordan was satisfied the comics, you know, John Stewart as well. But in terms of like seeing in, especially growing up, like people younger than me will probably recognize John Stewart as their Green Lantern because of the Justice League cartoons. Hal Jordan, of course, we know from the comics. Maybe even Kyle Rayner as well. But why not both, right? Why just go with one? This is Zack Snyder's Justice League. I think Zack Snyder would be the kind of person who probably tried to throw in the John Stewart aspect into to be his Green Lantern. But we'll have to wait and see. Green Lantern is definitely in Zack Snyder's Justice League. Let's find out who it is and which Green Lantern are we talking about for that. So, but that is Zack Snyder's Justice League, and we'll know more about Justice League as we get closer, or even on Justice Con Day, right? So just a reminder, Justice Con and Crisis on Infinite Streams is this weekend. Very important this weekend. I still got those websites up for you to check it out. The schedule. The first one I'm just going to show you is Crisis on Infinite Streams in 2 days. It's got a countdown for you. And in some cases, I'm using Google Chrome. And I think even, you know, like Samsung Internet, you can have your time zones show up. So it's already, adapting to your time zone for you. So, which is really cool. So day one, like I said, Crisis on Infinite Streams. This is your pre-show and post-show. So this is not during Justice Con. These are the times before and after JusticeCon. So like these shows going to be before, then comes after Zack Snyder's panel. It's going to be Dave the Film Junkie and I, and so on and so forth. JusticeCon is in 2 days, this weekend, July 25th and 26th. Day one's the introduction to JusticeCon, Ink to the People, Ray Porter, AFSP, Jay Oliva, Ray Fisher, and finally, Zack Snyder, who's also bringing a clip and a certain announcement. Day 2, we go into the spotlight of Fabian Wagner, Clay Enos as Christine Kambanban, and Deborah Snyder and Snyder's Amazons. I'm in the diversity panel with Shiraz Faruqi and Juanita Davis, artists of Release the Snyder Cut, the finalists for Zack Snyder's Justice League final poster, and then Sean O'Connell, Release the Snyder Cut book, plus the final word and the Watchmen stream on Twitch, on Ohio Davies Twitch stream. So there is going to be a fantastic weekend, and that's why I'm promoting it so much. Anybody and everybody who is even remotely interested in Zack Snyder's Justice League, in Zack Snyder, a Snyder fan, a DC fan, you're all Snyder Cut fan, you're all welcome to join in this absolutely free YouTube panel, YouTube JusticeCon event. It's going to be phenomenal, especially if you're at home, you got nothing to do. Spend the weekend with us, spend it on JusticeCon, spend it on Crisis on Infinite Streams, and let's celebrate Zack Snyder's Justice League and have a wonderful time indeed. So that is JusticeCon, Crisis on Infinite Streams this weekend. Please be there. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for subscribing. I'll see you next time.